Welcome to part 2 of the Source and Grow Talent Talks podcast episode, AI Apprenticeship Journey with Miami EdTech. Our host, Stephanie Beck, is talking with Carlos, president of Miami EdTech, Tate, program manager and mentor at Miami EdTech, and Norbert, data scientist and AI apprentice at Miami EdTech, about their experiences.
You're not only an employer of apprentices and operate your own program, but you operate your program for other employers. Can you explain a little bit about how that works and what do your other employer partners say about this apprenticeship program?
A lot of times when you want to work with an employer to build an apprenticeship program, it can be challenging because it feels overwhelming. Things are changing overnight, literally. Emerging industries like tech, AI, even manufacturing, advanced manufacturing. Then how do we make employers feel more comfortable? We wanted to live it ourselves. You know the least at the beginning of a project. So what we did over the last year and a half, having a program, we figured out, this is where they can stumble. This is where they seem overwhelmed. And so we've created this toolkit to help employers. Even more deeply than that is the fact that we have almost 8 high schools now enrolled in our pre-apprenticeship program. So we have almost 200 pre-apprentices who are chomping at the bit to get out there and prove themselves, right? And so when we have this pipeline now, Miami EdTech serves as a backbone. Our vision is to help connect the dots, the infrastructure for the employer, the pipeline development, especially for high school students. And our employer partners love it. I mean, we're doing the heavy lift. We've simplified.
What do you both see the apprenticeship program doing related to the overall well-being of your company?
Well, one thing that for sure our apprenticeship, the program isn't just an initiative. It's not just something that we start and end, but it's the embodiment of our mission. Because what we believe in is in building inclusive pathways into tech and into the future of work, especially. And so the apprentices amplify our capacity through learning and building. And it also just brings a huge sense of purpose and progress into everything that we do as a team, because we're constantly reminded of why we do what we do, when we have our apprentices. So yeah, that's a very big thing that that definitely comes from this apprenticeship program.
Yeah, you can see why Tate's a rock star. I mean, I think that response is so accurate. I think about being a leader of an organization. What really motivated me was systemic level change. I really wanted to find ways to, as Tate mentioned, to create these pathways, because what I've seen is that the jump from middle school to high school to college always feels like such a wide gap. And so what I've been looking at systemically is how do we create the pipeline that's more transparent, that's more intentional. So what I see systemically, in the US, we have just under 800,000 apprentices, the new executive order, which is exciting. We're talking about trying to get to 1 million, right? And so we feel that we're very aligned with the time. And to your point, having the intermediaries, enabling intermediaries because when we help an organization build a program, when we walk away, there's legacy potential there. Because as Tate mentioned, we're just not doing something that's like a one-off or a pilot. We helped you launch a registered program that can now continue to flourish. So that to me is the systemic level stuff.
Norbert, you had your degree and now you're working and you're learning and you're earning credentials. How important is this opportunity for you to be able to be applying what you're learning while you're learning it?
Very important, because the on-the-job training that I've received from web scraping, building different coding scripts, working with AI tools, learning more and growing about AI, improving my data analytics and data science skills, building all sorts of cool projects, I think is very relevant in terms of my career path and goals. And that's definitely been a huge success for me.
What, Norbert, advice do you have to individuals who are thinking about wanting to hone their skills in AI?
I would say this, if you're in the workforce, definitely get involved with learning about ChatGPT or Gemini in order to help use the prompt in order to help engage in critical thinking and writing for different projects, because you can use these AI tools to help make your life easier in the workforce. And as for a career changer that wants to get into AI, I would say definitely develop your programming skills.
And Tate, what would you have to say to someone else who maybe is being asked by their employer if they would be willing to help launch an apprenticeship program and mentor apprentices?
Definitely being able to start with curiosity and not perfection. I think a big thing is a lot of people want all the answers to begin with, but that's not where you're going to start. So even as a mentor, the willingness to learn and to be able to explore along with who you're mentoring is going to be the most beneficial, because you're not just helping them grow, but you're growing as you empower them. And then also giving them room to play, of course, even in you not knowing all the answers, because I may have a background in computer science, but AI is evolving quite a lot. And so it pushes me to learn as well. And so it's a great catalyst to be able to build and improve in my skills so that I can lead well. And so that's some advice I've given, always being able to, willing to learn, but also just aiming for curiosity and not perfection. You don't need all the answers to begin with, but you do want to have a willingness to be able to learn with them.
So thank you for sharing that with us. And Carlos, finally, in this whole space of AI, I mean, it's pretty gutsy for you to just decide to have an AI apprentice. What advice do you have for other organizations that are thinking about embracing AI as a tool for their staff generally, but also the need to maybe bring on someone like an AI apprentice to help the organization really leverage this amazing tool that we have?
Yeah, great question. As Tate mentioned, right, you know the least in the beginning, but being curious allows you to, the sooner you can be curious and address your questions when you start, because the point is to start. You got to start. It has to be a point where you say, I'm going to take that first step. So in AI, it's emerging. We looked at the role of prompt engineer. We know that role basically kind of after 1 year kind of disappeared. But when we introduced it, there was a disconnect. And so what I'm driven by is making sure that when we think of AI, we just don't only think of ChatGPT, because all of the elements around AI, you have to have a use case, you have to analyze data, you have to clean data, you have to think about the ethics of AI. All of this is evolving day to day. And so if you think about the impact of AI in different industries, an AI apprentice inherently is a generalist who isn't afraid to tackle these complex new tools that might be coming out. And so that was something we wanted. And we're so excited because I know AIR's asked us to be a part of the revision to look at, because over a year, we've learned a lot about how to modify the work process schedule that Norbert went through. And Norbert has been instrumental in giving us that feedback, which is what we established early on. We say, hey, Norbert, if you come on board, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't know all the stops on the train yet, but we need your help telling us the stops. And he has put together this reflection along with Tate and myself. We're so excited about revealing this 2.0 work process schedule because it incorporates the technical components, the analytical components, but also the business oriented. Because you saw in Norbert's response, one of the first things he said is, how do I contribute to the bottom line of the business? Because ultimately, if you're a small, medium business, everyone who works there has some type of line to what it is, your revenue, whether that's performance, grant requirements. And so I'm excited to kind of roll that out, because I do believe that over the next year, we're going to see a lot more subsets of occupations under that umbrella of AI.
That's awesome.
Right.
What impact, in closing, would you say that apprenticeship is making on you, your company, your organization?
I would say that definitely a huge impact has been made with this apprenticeship program that I'm currently doing. I'm learning every day. I'm learning how to grind all the time, and like it never stops, never stop. I never stop learning. Like even after my Azure AI 900 certification, I just got a new Python certification with more tools on web scraping, different Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and I built like another web scraping tool. Just it never stops growing, and so that's powerful. And I'm so happy that this program exists.
Thank you.
I think one of the biggest impacts it's made in my life is that it's challenged me to grow a lot faster than I could have imagined, because it's not just about me teaching, but it's about me learning as well, and being humble to being able to learn a lot more, even from a mentorship standpoint. And so it impacts everything that I do, and it also keeps me on my toes and helps me think a lot deeper of the things that I normally just kind of continue to do. But more than anything, it also just gives me hope, because where tech is just so fast evolving, a lot of people can want to run, but apprenticeships remind me that it's possible to slow down and still be able to invest in something that you believe in, and not just build with them, but like build with them, and not just for them. And so, yeah.
I think our mentor and apprentice here have demonstrated that connection relationship that I want our team to feel. And I think that those types of initiatives help to create an environment where people feel safe being wrong. People feel safe, and it's not about ego. It's about working together towards a common goal. And I think apprenticeships inherently have that built in, because as you've seen, like Tate's developing as a coach, as a mentor, Norbert's developing as an apprentice, I'm developing as an organizational leader, because I get to see the infrastructure of this. And I'm like, the next apprenticeship occupation, I mean, we can bring this to every occupation in the organization. And I think the emerging industry one, the fact that AI is evolving the way it is, it's a blueprint to follow. Because as Tate mentioned, like, I don't expect her to be the SME right now. She can't be. No one can be. And so having a foundation, having the longevity. So Norbert, he knows we're investing in him for this whole year. He's a part of our fabric. And same with AIR. We appreciate it, because sometimes we get too caught up in the weeds. And so when we just take a step back, and it allows us to appreciate it, because I'm so appreciative of Norbert and Tate and what they bring to the team. And we hope that we can provide some model, so that when people are like, I don't know where to start, I don't know where to look, I hope they can read this and watch this as a resource to help them make the right decision.
Thank you so much. Each of you are so inspirational. Thank you for joining us for the Source and Grow Talent Talks, and for your partnership with AIR. And thank you for everyone who joined us today for Source and Grow Talent Talks. We are excited to be sharing this series on making an impact through apprenticeship.
Source and Grow Talent Talks is brought to you by the American Institutes for Research Source and Grow Talent Apprenticeships for Tech initiative, funded through a contract with the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship. For more information on this effort, please visit www.apprenticeshipsfortech.org. Talk to you soon.